What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. Going live tonight. This was an unexpected live. I see some folks already in the chat. What is going on? X11, Shadow Rat, Papa Ken. Thank you guys for being here. Man, I rushed home as quick as I can. It's Father's Day. Big happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I had a very interesting Father's Day myself. I haven't even really been able to get situated because I know it's late. I mean, I'm on the West Coast. It's 9 o'clock. That means it's midnight for those on the East Coast. It's probably already morning. If anybody from over the pond is watching, Mike, what's going on? Really cool, man. I just opened this up as I came in the door. Thought I'd share it with you guys while we let a few folks get in. For those that don't know, I am a huge baseball fan, and I'm a huge Giants fan. And I can't believe that this is falling out of the frame, but my parents just gifted me a Willie McCovey signed picture. Wow. It's kind of, look, it fell off the frame or out, off center from the frame. But wow, Kid Collector, what's going on, man? So I just opened this up. I'm blown away. I can't wait to tell them thank you. And I don't know where they found this or how they got this, but absolutely amazing. Amazing. Big Giants fan, Willie McCovey, one of the all-time greats. Willie McCovey, this is what was in it. I don't know what this is. This is a note. Willie McCovey, retired uniform, number 44. Interesting stuff. Just thought I'd share that with you guys before we get into the topic of discussion tonight. So, man, really cool stuff. Whew. All right, everyone. Where do I begin, man? Where do I begin? So, I'm just going to get right into it. Yeah, Kyle. What's going on, Kyle? Yeah. Absolutely. I'm like speechless on that. I don't even know. My head's going in a million places right now. Isaac. What's going on, Isaac? Rocco. So, today was a bit unsettling for me, and many of you know that watch my channel. I like to address issues. I don't like stuff lingering. I like to be transparent. Kyle's like, let's talk comics and ask comic questions. My OCD all front. I know I couldn't do no other way. But anyways, today I woke up this morning, was getting ready for the day. So we do the top 10, right? We do it live every Friday night on Comic Book Canon. And then I release the video on my channel every Saturday. All right. So noontime drops every Saturday. You're getting our top 10 hottest comics of the week video. And sometime yesterday after it dropped, I got a comment. That kind of threw me off. And then this morning, after I was getting ready and I was looking through my comments, I saw some more comments that just completely threw me off. So before we get into that, the top 10 last week consisted of, for those that don't watch the top 10, we go over what the top 10 is from coverprice.com's sales data, right? I picked 3 books to talk about. 3 books that I feel are unique or whatever it is. It's not always the top 3 on the list. I just picked 3 that have interesting talking points. For this last week, I picked What If Planet Hulk #1 because of the Scar speculation to the She-Hulk Disney Plus show. And Brian, what's going on, Brian? No, not absolutely. Big shout out to Brian and Tales from the Flip Side. Had a great time on Friday night hanging out with them. Comic Toby, what's up, Comic Toby? Linkovich. So I picked Scar, first appearance of Scar. Then I picked the Thor Annual 18, which has a cameo of a female Loki, right? And then I picked Web of Spider-Man #1. That was #1 on the list. Really hot book because of the first appearance of Harley Kenner, from Iron Man 3. So big MCU spec on all 3 of these books, right? So my theme around these books, one was like MCU FOMO is crazy right now. And when I say it's crazy, doesn't mean I'm saying it's bad. I just mean it's crazy. It's nuts. But hey, nuts is good, in my opinion, for the most part. But I talked about how this crazy MCU FOMO right now, I talked a little about how people are reacting to it, right? And I didn't explain it probably as best as I wanted to, because I even said in the video, I said, I'm not going to go too much into detail. I'm going to let you guys think on this, because I was planning on making a video later this week about, and it's based around supply and demand and basically economics of why a book like Thor 18 can go from a $2 to $3 book to a $40 book practically overnight or within a couple of days. I'm not sitting here calling it market manipulation. I even said that in the video. I wasn't saying it was bad. I just was addressing it. And I brought up a couple things that can make this happen. One is because it was a book that was never sought after before, right when there's any type of speculation that's spreading through the internet, through social media, buyers and sellers alike are trying to get their hands on those books. And maybe there's only a couple there. And because there's only a couple there, they're willing to pay a lot right then to get their hands on it. And that's how the FOMO hits, like that. Because what drives up the value of a book is basically supply and demand. If demand exceeds supply, it's going to drive the value up. But I brought up the fact that I don't even know if people are letting the demand drive up that price gradually, because they're saying, screw it. Like, I don't want to miss out. So I know this book sold for $10 yesterday. I'm gonna make a high bid of $40, and somebody else is in that same mind state and they're like, I'm gonna make a high bid of $45. I don't care, because I want it so bad. And there isn't this book is a $5 fair market value, $10 fair market value, $15, $20. There's no gradual upscale to it. It goes from $5 to $40 like that, because of FOMO, because we want it that bad and we're going to do what we can to get our hands on it. None of that is negative. Please know that. So what did I do? I brought up an example using Key Collector app. And I probably shouldn't have did this, because I realize now it was completely taken out of context. So, and I'm going to play you guys a couple snippets from the video. I saw on Instagram earlier last week from a big, I'm not going to say any names because this isn't about pointing fingers. I saw a big YouTuber, post a screenshot of the Key Collector app of the Thor 18 book, and it said in the description, and don't quote me, it's gone now from Instagram. I haven't looked on Key Collector, but Key Collector actually told me that they changed the description. I don't know what it says right now, but what it said, from what I remember, is that, it was something about possible. I guess it didn't say speculation, but it had notation that it was a cameo of a female Loki, and that there was something to do with the female Loki in the the Loki TV show. There was a correlation. So again, I'm like probably stumbling over my words, because I'm being so cautious of my wording here, because I don't want it to be taken out of context. I'm being so cautious of my wording that I almost don't even know how to say it, because I feel like somebody's going to twist my words. But basically, it was on Key Collector app saying that there is something here with this book pertaining to the Loki show. All right. So let me show you guys what I said in my video. I'm going to bring up a clip. Give me 1 second to bring it up. Here we go. One second. All right, here we go. All right, listen to this for about a minute or two. It's a few dollar book a week ago. So here's the thing. And what happened was, if you have the Key Collector app, and don't take this, I don't want anybody watching taking this the wrong way. All right, I'm not shaming Key Collector, but we know what Key Collector does. Okay, keep that in mind right there. Before I even talked about Key Collector, I said, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not saying this is a negative thing about Key Collector. I'm not shaming Key Collector. I'm just saying Key Collector is a resource that informs us. So I'm going to continue on. They send out pings for hot book alerts, or if there's any type of speculation going on, they will ping you and you'll get a notification. This one said, Key speculation alert. This book has a cameo appearance of a female Loki, which is being rumored to have correlation to the Loki show. And then what happens? People go straight to eBay or straight to whatever, Mercari or wherever they're buying their books, and they're buying it. Okay, that's fine. Key Collector's not telling you to buy anything. Okay, right there. Take that in consideration too. What did I say? That's fine. I'm not saying this is a negative thing. It's a fact. We do it. Dude, people watch my channel. I do top 10 lists. I talk about a book. I know darn well after people watch me, they're pulling out their phones looking on eBay. So I can't imagine what people do when they get this stuff from Key Collector. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. How many people in the chat right now have Key Collector app, and when they either through a ping or maybe just they're looking through some books and they see, oh, this is the first appearance of something, oh, might happen in the Loki show. Oh, how many people are taking that information and going and trying to cop the book? I do it. I do it myself. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there is anything wrong with this. Doing it on your own free will, right? Okay. Let's talk about number one. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to leave that like that. Let me go back to the chat here. All right. So, all I'm saying there, again, now, I guess I was wrong. And I'm going to own up to being wrong. To my knowledge now, Key Collector did not send out a ping for this book. Okay? But, and guys, I'm going to tell everyone right now, I tell you, this video, I don't want anybody getting ugly in the comments. This is not a video against Key Collector. It's not a video against anybody. I'm setting the record straight. And I don't want any ugliness in the comment. I'm not saying there is, but I just want us all to be respectful here tonight, okay? I was wrong because to my knowledge now, Key Collector didn't send out a ping, okay? But I was merely making a point. I was merely making a point about how a $2 to $3 to $5 book, or how any book can get hot because of an app like Key Collector, because of YouTubers, because of an app like Cover Price, because of any resource out there that feeds you information. This is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. All I was saying is that no matter if you get your information from Key Collector, or you get it from Journos Comics or Comic Tom, or Tales from the Flip Side, CBSI Top 10, or TiVo's Top 10 when they do the Cover Price Top 10, no matter where you get your information from, I know darn well that people are right there with their phones and they get that FOMO boiling. It's the state of the market. And if anybody denies that and say that's not true, they're lying. They are lying. But guess what? It's what keeps this market healthy right now. All right, so I'm going to move on. Keep in mind, I did not say anything negative about Key Collector at all. I'm going to bring up another video clip. All right, we're going to listen to this one for a minute. Well, there's no, to my knowledge, false information about any female Loki or, a Son of Hulk showing up It's all rumor, and we're making our purchasing decisions based on those rumors, and that's fine. But when you get a book that's $2 or $3, like Thor Annual 18, up to a $40 book in a matter of a few days, just because the Key Collector app sent you a ping saying, oh, hey, we got female Loki going on in the Loki show. This may correlate. Our buyers simply so engulfed in FOMO that people that are sellers, right? This is just a hypothetical example. Maybe I want you all to remember what I just said right there. This is a hypothetical example. Now, I'm gonna own up. According to my knowledge now, Key Collector did not send out a ping about this book. But again, what did I just said there? This is a hypothetical example. I'm asking the viewers to put a question mark. Not just the Thor book, but any book that gets hot, because I know there are plenty of books that get pinged by Key Collector and then get hot. So this is just an example. Maybe they get that same ping and they have a Thor Annual 18 laying around and they post it on eBay, knowing darn well, you know, as of that point, it's only a $2 or $3 book. And they say, $25, buy it now. So when that buyer, that collector gets the ping and goes to eBay and sees that listing, are they just buying it without any research on what the current fair market value is? So what I'm saying is this. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry.
Hi.
Hold on 1 second.
We're Woodger.
Are we so FOMO'd out that we are not allowing the demand to even catch up with supply? All right, seeing what I just said there is what I just said to you all a couple minutes ago. I'm not saying anything saying, oh, people are manipulating the market. All I'm saying is if a popular YouTuber, myself included, or an app like Key Collector or Cover Price or anybody reports on a book, right? And maybe the book's just sold for $2, $3, $4, $5, but if buyers go and say, oh, shoot, Key Collector's talking about it, other people are talking about it, there might be a correlation for some speculation. I'm going to list mine for $25 and I'm going to see if somebody bites. And somebody, like I said, because maybe they want to make sure that they own it, they're willing to go buy that $25. So what does that mean? They're not waiting to see the fair market value go from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 to 35. They're letting it go from 5 to 25 to 35 right away, simply because of that FOMO of how we operate right now in this current market. So again, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault, but the buyers, I'm not saying Key Collector app is making you do anything or is manipulating anything. They're not. All Key, and I even said, I'm pretty sure I said in that video, and I know I've said before, all Key Collector app does is deliver information. That's all they do. They deliver information, and it's up to you as a collector to do what you want to do with that information. Right? So I wanted to be clear right now. Right now. I have said nothing negative about anybody in that video. Now, I'm going to bring up something else here. We're going to read something together. So this is the comment that I got yesterday right here. Love most of your content, but the haterade is a bit much. Look up the word speculation. Okay. First off, and this is my response, haterade, what are you talking about, haterade? Who am I hating on? And then I went on to say, not sure what you're referring to or why you would feel the need to tell me to look up the word speculation. I don't need to be told what the word speculation means. I don't know how that correlates. And then later on, I said, Edwin, email me. And I gave him my email because obviously you are taking something way out of context. So today, before I went off to see my parents and my father for Father's Day, my elderly father, where I should have had a day focused on spending my time with him because I don't know how much time I have left with him. I have to sit and stress because I received this. And again, I'm going to read these comments from Key Collector, but I am not knocking Key Collector. I'm trying to bring forth transparency. And I want to say too, I reached out to Nick with Key Collector privately. And if there was a private conversation, I wouldn't be telling you guys what was said unless Nick and I mutually agreed to discuss that openly. But there hasn't been a private conversation. I did reach out to him because I believe that it is important for him and I to have a private conversation because I believe this is a huge misunderstanding in that alone. So Nick came on here, said correction, a key issue alert or ping was never sent out on this issue. Okay, that's my bad, but I was still just trying to use it as an example to make a point. Remember what I said in that video? This is just a hypothetical example. Remember that? I let that play and then I paused it and said, keep that in your head. He went on to say it was simply added to the database and not featured in any way. This is simple to research before making false statements on your channel. Again, I understand that the ping was false, wasn't accurate, but my statement in a whole was accurate. The point, the hypothetical example that I was giving was accurate to the state of the market. It wasn't even about Key Collector. That's the whole thing in totality. This was my response, and I'm going to read it with you guys. The Key Collector alert was merely an example of how people are notified for books. It wasn't just Thor. I'm just saying books in general. If you get a notification from Key Collector, if Journos Comics or Comic Tom or TiVo are talking about certain books, what are you going to do? Because people have FOMO. I'm guilty of delivering information like that. I'm not saying it's bad. I was just using it as an example of how people receive their information. I go on to say, I do believe you or an affiliate posted to IG, so that in and of itself can be seen as an alert, correct? It was not meant to be negative whatsoever, nor was it an attempt to paint KKC or KCC in a bad light. I apologize. If my information was not fully accurate in terms of how the app notifies collectors, but again, it was not meant in a derogatory way. The point was to merely show how people are so quick to hear about speculation and then how willing they are to open up their pocketbooks. I never said any of this was negative, nor did I say I was against it. It's simply a phenomenon that exists in our hobby right now, and it's something worth talking about. His response was this. It wasn't an example. It was, though, but I humbled myself and still apologized. It was a statement incorrectly made multiple times, which goes against your own messaging of doing your research. This isn't the first time we've corresponded about inaccurate statements made on your channel that have negative implications. I do believe what he's referring to is when I did a live stream with Newbie Comics and no bad blood against Newbie and his people. But I mistook information. I didn't have a key piece of information. And after I did that stream, I found that information out and I held myself accountable. I held myself so much accountable that I deleted that live stream and I reached out to everyone involved, including Nick with Key Collector, and I apologized to them. And I said, I feel extremely guilty for even doing that live stream without the proper context of information. And then I went ahead and did another live stream and had to correct myself. And I stood firm with Key Collector, and I actually was very public. And I love Newbie, and I love Newbie's people to this day. But I said, I disagree with what they did. And if I would have known that piece of information, I may have still had Newbie and his people on because I felt the stuff needed to be hashed out, but I would have took a whole different tone because I disagreed with the ethics of how they handled it. Not Key Collector, Newbie. And Newbie is my folks. So what does that say? We can be folks, we can be respectful, and we can be business-minded and still disagree on things and squash things. So I believe that's what he's referring to right here. He goes on to say, you can deny that. I've never denied that. I've never denied it. But we've received emails from your viewers who have made this observation. I'm going to address that, but I'm going to finish reading his comment here. Tom posted about this issue, the Thor issue. Key Collector makes no directive on what Tom posts, yada, yada, yada. He's just saying we are, our own entities. That's fine. We had hundreds of issues daily, and they do. If Thor Annual AT resonates with collectors, it's for reasons that are their own, and that's my point. That's my point. I even said in the video, Key Collector isn't telling you to do something. They're not brainwashing you. They're not manipulating you. So I'm saying exactly what Nick is saying right here. Key Collector is a database. If their information resonates with collectors, they have free will to do whatever they want to do. I never denied that or said anything different. This is shill marketing at its most obvious. I actually never read that until now, and I don't know what he means by that as it relates to this issue. Oh, but he did go on to say that, he said if Thor 18 resonates with collectors, it's for reasons that are their own, and I'm sure they don't appreciate the underlying message that they are doing something wrong. I never said anybody was doing anything wrong. Never. Go back and watch the entire video. I never said anybody was doing anything wrong. I just said, instead of sitting there and sitting on something and maybe doing more research, they're getting sucked into the FOMO and they're willing to open up their wallet and say, I don't care if I sat on this, maybe I can still get this book for $10. I don't want to wait. I'm going to pay 40. I never said it was wrong. I never said it was wrong. Period. So I took this in and I responded again. And I said, there is no underlying message that anybody was doing anything wrong. That was never stated, nor was it hinted at. I made that clear before I even talked about it. I am not, nor have I ever been anti-speculation. Never. I'm actually against anti-speculators. I loathe anti-speculators. I can't stand them, to be quite honest. And if some of you in the chat are anti-speculators, I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. People who say speculators are manipulating the market, or it's just speculators are ruining the market, or apps like Key Collector are ruining comic books, I disagree with you 100%. So for it to be insinuated that I'm taking that tone is wrong. I go on to say, I also believe apps like yours that provide information are good tools for collectors. And I even said this in the video, quote, Key Collector didn't tell you to buy anything. I admitted to the fact that I was incorrect about how the information was delivered for that specific book. But you are here insinuating that my intent was negative, and it was not. And I tell him, maybe it's time that you and I had a one-on-one conversation, because obviously this was taken way out of context. You have my email. I will gladly give you my phone number for us to discuss this respectfully. Then I even pinned a comment because I care. I care. Even though I don't understand how this could have been taken out of context, I'm still trying to be empathetic to Nick to see how it could. Because obviously one viewer that went, and if that viewer's watching, or any viewer, I'm going to tell y'all right now, if you guys can't come and talk to me about when you think I'm doing something wrong, and you're going to run behind my back, why are you even watching my channel? Come on, man. Come on. If you got an issue with the content that I'm creating, I'll take a phone call from you. Hit me up on IG, send me an email. You're gonna run behind my back and go email Key Collector. Journos Comics is bad mouthing you when I'm not. To each their own. I can't stop you, but come on. So, but I'm understanding of what Nick may be going through right now. Nick has to protect his interests as a businessman. I understand that. And if some of my viewers are taking what I'm saying out of context, I understand Nick's place to have to protect his best interest for his business. So what do? I pinned a comment. And this is what I said. Key Collector has stated that they did not send out a ping for Thor Annual 18. The book was shared as speculation regarding the Loki show, and word traveled fast. I merely used Key Collector as an example of one tool that delivers information to collectors. It was never my intent to paint this as something negative whatsoever. Collectors have free will to take information and do what they will with it. And my point was to showcase the phenomenon of how quick collectors are willing to open their pocketbooks once they receive this type of information. Never in the video did I say I was against this, nor did I say it was a bad thing. Key Collector responded, incorrect. The issue was added without any speculative editorial. I mean, when you put that, you know, Loki show, I mean, what I'm not going to argue that. After the issue qualified for last week's Trending 20, the explanation as to why it made it to the list was temporarily added. So there you go. I mean, what chicken or the egg? I'm not here to argue that. And I even go on to say this. I honestly appreciate the context, but again, my point was simply that we are in a market where people are willing to spend good money on speculation, no matter where that information came from. Again, this was not a knock against Key Collector app whatsoever, nor was it a knock against people buying these books. It's simply a phenomenon that is worth talking about. All right, let me take a breath before I go into my explanation, everyone. And like I said, I don't want anyone in the chat right now badmouth the Key Collector, because that's not what I'm here for, and that's not what I want any of you here for. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to sip some water. I don't want anybody bad-mouthing Key Collector right now, because I got something to say. Dave, I ain't falling over. I'm going all night long. Just give me a moment. It is really hot in here, though. 100 degrees again today. At the end of the day, my words were taken 100% out of context. All right. And if anything, I'm more upset with my viewers than I am with Nick and Key Collector. Why? Because my viewers would rather watch my channel, come in my comments talking about the haterade, and not even respond to me. Look, I'm taking the time to respond to you. I'm taking the time to read your comments. And you don't even give me the audacity to have a conversation with me, Chris. I watched this video and I feel like you're being derogatory to Key Collector. What's up with that? And I would have taken the time to have a conversation with you to explain myself. But what did you do? You went and bothered Nick on Father's Day. I don't even know if Nick's a father. Maybe he is. But when I got that message from Nick, or those comments from Nick, on Father's Day, when I wanted to worry about spending a day with my ailing father and my children, it took me out of my zone. If Nick's the father and he's getting people emailing him saying, Journos Comics is on YouTube right now, bad-mouthing you. Do you know what, if I was Nick, how that would make me feel? Because I got to protect the best interests of my company, of my business. And you guys know me. Look at me right now. I'm passionate. I'm passionate. And I'm here right now to protect my business and my legacy and the public perception of journos. I can't imagine Nick hearing that. So, although I do feel that Nick, I don't know if Nick watched the whole video. I don't know, but obviously Nick seemed to take it out of context. And I wish he would have taken the time to, I even left him voice messages. I wish he would have taken the time to call me. Let's talk about this. But I'm not even really upset at Nick right now. What I want Nick to understand and what I want him to empathize with me on is that he took what I was saying out of context. But he probably had my viewers egging him on, feeding him this line. He went into this. Nick went into this thinking that I was bad-mouthing his business, instead of my viewers having a conversation with me for context. That's some bullshit. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you. And happy Father's Day to everyone right now, too. And I appreciate you being here on Father's Day. Listen, I'm going to repeat what I just said. I'm going to repeat what I just said. It hurts me that Nick didn't understand didn't understand my intent. But remember when I made a couple videos talking about Key Collector, you're wrong, I disagree with you. Remember that, guys? Remember when I had good intentions and I'm all about the hobby and I'm like, Key Collector, I was going to go grab my ASM 135. Key Collector, you're wrong. 135 is the second full appearance of the Punisher. Remember when I did a video saying Key Collector was wrong? ASM 42 is not the first full appearance of Mary Jane. I disagree with you. What are you doing? We need consistency. Remember that? And it was out of good intent. It was out of the intent that I want this industry to be the best that it can be for everyone, collectors, people in the industry, and so forth. Remember those videos? Well, I realized, even though I tried to make it clear in those videos, that I had nothing against Key Collector as a whole. I respect Key Collector. I like it for the most part. It's a great resource. I don't know Nick as a human being. I'm not here to badmouth him. And I realized that people didn't even want to hear that. They just heard something that seemed negative against Key Collector. And everyone picked up the pitchforks and was like, yeah, Journo's leading the firing squad. Pitchforks against Key Collector. No. And remember, I had to come out here and say, guys, nope. I just disagree with a couple of the things that Key Collector did. And it was that simple. Remember that? Since all that happened, and since I did that live stream with Newbie Comics, and I was missing a key fact, I have walked on eggshells. I feel like I've gone out of my way, which I should be doing, because with great power comes great responsibility. But I feel like I really have been cautious about any time I even utter the 3 words Key Collector app, because I don't want anybody taking anything the wrong way, thinking I'm anti-Key Collector. I even did a video showing the first appearance of Killer Croc and how I feel that Key Collector app has those appearances labeled right, and how CGC has them wrong. Because when it comes to the labels, it's not a Key Collector issue, it's an industry issue, right? So, Where do I stand? Porthos, Mary Jane's first appearance is not Amazing Spider-Man 42. It is Amazing Spider-Man 25 in cameo, non-face reveal. And then she showed up again in 38, cameo, non-face reveal. 42 is her third cameo, face reveal. 43 is her first full appearance, but that's not why we're here. Where do I stand on Key Collector app and speculation? I disagree with some labels that Key Collector has for some of their books. And it stops there. It stops there. I have no other issues with the Key Collector app. None. I do not know Nick. I have never spoken to him. We've shared emails and comment exchanges, as you guys can see. I wish Nick would give me the time of day to have a conversation with me. I think Nick is probably a passionate individual like me. I know he's worked very hard to create a very popular business and a platform that is an essential platform to collectors. I'm not saying live and breathe by it. I use Key Collector. I don't have a paid subscription, but I'll use it to look stuff up, just like I use Cover Price. And I do have a paid subscription with Cover Price, the minimal one. Just like I use eBay Sold, or just like I use the Overstreet still. Having Key Collector app is a great thing for collectors. When people come out and say the Key Collector app is manipulating the market, I've talked about it before. It's freaking bullshit. Now, let me tell you one thing. I have no idea if Nick is sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm gonna stock up on 20 copies of King Size Annual 15, and then I'm gonna send an alert out on my Key Collector app saying, hey guys, speculation, just so I could put them on eBay and sell them for $50 each." Do you know what kind of business Nick is running? Nick makes money off of a substantiated business. You think he cares about trying to manipulate a market so he can flip a few dollar books at $20 or $50 a pop? And if anybody ever actually caught him, even if this goes for Comic Tom or anybody, if they actually caught him, though, doing that for an extra couple $100 in their pocket, do you know what it would do to the credibility of his actual business? It would ruin it. Why would somebody that's a businessman that worked his life to build up probably the most popular comic book database in the world, why would he build that up, put years and years of his life in blood, sweat, and tears into building this substantiated business to flip a few dollar books because of false spec, trying to manipulate a market just for a couple of $100 in his pocket? Why? He wouldn't, unless he was the most stupidest businessman to ever exist. And that is far from the case. And I'm going to say that. I don't know him, but I'm going to make a claim right here. Because guess what? A stupid businessman wouldn't have built what he already built. Speculation. How do I feel about speculation? I always say this. Be educated. Be educated. Right? It worries me if people got the FOMO and they're speculating on something and they're not educated to it. But if you want to speculate and you got money to blow and you want to spend $50 on a book that was $3, $4, $5 a couple days before, I'm all for that, especially if I own the book. Because guess what? You're helping me increase my ROI on books that I own. I have never been one. I am never one that misses out on a book. You know what book I missed out on? I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. My number one favorite superhero of all time. I do my previews order every month, where I order my books 3 months in advance at 35% off. You know what book I had in my cart? Web of Spider-Man #1. And you know what I did before I checked out? I said, you know what? I love my Spider-Man, but I don't need this new run. I don't need to buy this new run. Canceled it from my cart, and I didn't buy it. Now, the book's selling for $50. Am I going to sit here and be like, man, speculators, it's just speculators buying that book up. They're buying multiple copies and not leaving any for me. And then Key Collector app, sends a ping out and tells everyone what to buy and brainwashes them. And I didn't get my Web of Spider-Man #1. You guys are ruining the hobby. I'm entitled. No. I'm the one that didn't buy the book, but I had every opportunity to. So I am so glad that the speculators are buying that book up and that book is selling for $50. You win some, you lose some. You get some, you miss some. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Yep, Porthos, that's absolutely right. And for those anti-speculators, if it wasn't for speculators, comic books would not exist today. If they did exist, they'd most likely be specifically in trade paperback form, manga form, things like that. The floppy book would not exist today if it wasn't for speculation. I guarantee it. Especially at the level that it's still at. And your back issues would be worthless. I am not anti-Key Collector. I am not anti-speculation. You know what I am anti? I'm anti some shell YouTubers going on YouTube and talking about Kevin Feige in Marvel Studios has confirmed a Midnight Suns movie and it's in early stages. No, it's not. It has not been confirmed. And if there is any early stages, you're not giving me any solidified, credible source. And you know what I do hate? A YouTuber that has almost 1 million subscribers like Cosmic Wonder going and repeating what this shell of account YouTuber that doesn't get any views said and saying that Kevin Feige has Mephisto confirmed. I am 100% against that, and I will gladly call Cosmic Wonder out right now. With great power comes responsibility, and you are neglecting your power. Although I disagree with some of the things the Key Collector has done when it comes to listing their books, and I believe YouTubers alike, people like Nick who own industry companies like a database, I do believe we need to have these discussions. I do believe we should be sitting at round tables and creating concrete definitions and I'm losing my words now, guys, but to where there's an accountability to certain things in the hobby, right? Labels. I have not seen one thing other than that Key Collector has done for me to sit here and hate on Key Collector. None. And like I said, and I even said this in the videos when I disagree with Key Collector and some of the labels, the appearance labels on their books, I even said in those videos, it's not just a Key Collector thing. CGC, CBCS has labels wrong, in my humble opinion. Cover Price has labeled things wrong, and I've emailed them, and they changed it around. Oh, yep, you're right. We had that wrong. We're fixing it. The fact that I made this top 10 video and I brought up Key Collector as an example to why looking at the economic, it's basic economics. We have databases at our fingertips. And the most popular one is Key Collector. And maybe for this specific book, there wasn't a ping. But I was using that book as an example for multiple other books that have been pinged by Key Collector, that have been talked about on Comic Tom and Gem Mint's top 10, that have been talked about on TiVo's top 10, on CBSI's top 10, on Comic Book Canon's top 10. That people hear it, they get a notification, they watch the video, and immediately they get that FOMO, and they go out and they're ready. They're ready to make it rain. They're ready to make it rain, man. They're making it rain. I never said it was a bad thing. I never knocked anybody for doing that. I never said I was against it. I was never shaming anybody. And I need that to be known. It's a phenomenon that exists in the comic book market right now. Will it last? I don't know. Is it crazy? It is crazy. Is crazy bad? Crazy could be sexy cool. If you're TLC, crazy could be, I'm not crazy, but you know what else? I don't give a fuck. Tupac crazy. Crazy can mean crazy in love. Crazy can mean wonderful things. It's a crazy phenomenon right now. But never did I have intent. Never did I have intent to knock anybody doing the purchasing or to knock Key Collector. And I want to say one more thing, and I do want to get to some comments before I wrap up tonight, but I do want to say one more thing about Key Collector app and where I empathize with Nick having to protect his brand. Let me get some water before I go into it. I believe that Nick, as the owner of Key Collect, has gotten so many people that have created so many crazy conspiracies. I do believe he has been hit with so many crazy conspiracies. I had subscribers and people in the community that I thought I had built friendships with that have now blocked me because I didn't hop on the anti-Key Collector bandwagon. I've had people that I've done art pieces for that I thought were friends in this community that I have had troll me and block me because they couldn't bring me over to the dark side of picking up the pitchforks and calling Comic Tom comic fraud and calling Key Collector Key Clown Collector app and stooping to some ridiculous level. I will say this loud minority is very convincing sometimes. They are. They had me going a couple times. They had me going thinking oh. But then I had to catch myself. I'm like, nope, I'm not even going there. I'm not even allowing myself to be persuaded by these immature. Because I could disagree with somebody and still respect them. I disagree a lot with what CGC does. A lot. But I still have books there right now. Because I want CGC to succeed. I disagree with some things Key Collector's done, but I want them to succeed. But there's this community out there that are so anti-Key Collector. And I talked to some of them where they have valid claims. They disagree with something Key Collector may have done, like I've done in the past. And I've talked to them and I said, guys, look, if you really want to call somebody out because you think that they are incorrect or made an error or are wrong, the way that you're doing it is like, look in the mirror. Taking an immature approach of calling people names and being a bully behind a keyboard, what's that going to solve? Nothing. But I feel that maybe, just maybe, Nick saw this video and felt that I was perpetuating rhetoric that borderlines what they do. And like I said, I mean, I went back and watched the video multiple times. I don't know how it could be perceived. I mean, it's far off, in my humble opinion, of how it could have been perceived, because I made it clear. I made it clear I'm not knocking Key Collector. Key Collector isn't forcing you to buy anything, and it's not, nobody's manipulating the market. I made it clear. So I don't know how it could have been perceived like that, but I'm going to give Key Collector the benefit of the doubt and say that Nick and anyone else involved was simply trying to protect their best interest. And I'm not mad at that. I'm hurt that my intent was misperceived. And I'm also hurt that I still haven't had a conversation with Nick. Because I'm at a point where we're probably more alike than we may assume at this point, in terms of our passion, in terms of our business ethic. There might be a lot of similarities there. And it may be just this something that's getting lost in translation over type words on a screen, right? Crapper Box, I agree. I agree. There's pros and cons in everything in life, guys. You know, we can't generalize speculators and collectors. Speculators are great. There's just bad people in the world. There's shady people in the world. And then there's people that may be good people, but maybe they do crappy things sometimes. There's good businessmen that do things that other people disagree with. And then people make mistakes. I make mistakes. I made mistakes as Journos Comics, and it's a learning lesson for me. And I try to do my best to acknowledge those mistakes. And that's why I'm here today, because it's always a two-way conversation and a two-way street with me. This platform is as much you guys as it is me. And I never want it to be otherwise. I can't wait for the day when I have a conversation with Nick, and I hope that day comes. Because I know the Key Collector is not going anywhere. Or I hope they're not. I'm assuming they're not. I don't want them to. I believe the Key Collector is going to be a solid source in this industry and in this hobby for years to come. And I want Journos Comics to be that too. Journos Comics ain't going nowhere. And I know that for a fact. I bust my ass every single day of the week. I bring you guys videos 7 days a week, and I live stream twice a week. It's a lot of work, guys. I don't sleep. And I'm an educator. And I'm raising 2 kids. And it don't make a lot of money. But I do it. And I produce content specifically for my members and my Patreon members and my YouTube members. I'm not going anywhere. And I don't want there to be bad blood between anybody in this hobby. And I'm going to get to some comments, but I'm going to say one last thing. That includes you guys and me. Because remember what I said. I'm not mad at Nick. I'm mad at the freaking my viewers that are running their mouth going and email Nick. Journos is bad mouthing you when I'm not. Come talk to me. If you think I'm being negative or you're misunderstanding something, Chris, are you being negative against Key Collector? What are you talking about? Are you knocking speculators? Talk to me. I read all of your comments, every single one. Hit me up on Instagram. It may take me a few days to get to a comment or a message, but it's because I'm so backed up. I'm so backed up. But I try to get to them, and I will get to them. I would rather you come and talk to me and get clarification on an issue with me before you bring in a businessman that wants to protect his business. Yeah, DS, yes. Just I would go through the comments. They're there. They're all there. So I'm gonna take a breath. I'm gonna read some. Thank you, Dan. Dan Harris. I appreciate that. I'm gonna look at some questions or some comments, guys. All right, because I want to know your guys' thoughts on this too. Your voices matter. Appreciate you, Johnny. Thank you so much. Let's see. As our common market grows, we are going to see more and more people manipulate and take advantage for their own benefit. Yeah, and hey, look, if that happens, true, Dan. But again, it's like I'm not that was never present in this issue. I mean, never. Dan, I would love that. That's not in my hands. That is not in my hands. Raul, yeah, they do. They do. Hey, look, I use speculation to make money. What do? I make a top 10 Fantastic Four books to invest in before their MCU debut. That's pure speculation. And what do? I make money off of it. Does that make it a bad thing? No, I'm being honest. I'm being genuine. And I have love for the hobby and the industry. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It does not mean it's bad. Right? This is an interesting take. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're in anything to make money, you're a businessman, right? Nothing wrong with that. Appreciate it, Adam. I know you're always here, man. I appreciate it, Adam. Soggy wants to tell us the suspense in Dan's profile picture. Ultra Magnus says things that are not okay to do. All right, I'm waiting for this. I want to hear this. Ultra Magnus says things that aren't okay to do. Waiting for him. Waiting for it. What are they? What are they, Ultra Maximus? Did I say Magnus? I got Ultra Maximus. I'm waiting for him. Raul, yeah, man, got you. Chill bidding, yep, true. Although I did a video, it's also not okay for people to just say everything is shill bidding. Guys, don't blame everything on shill bidding. Just because a book is more expensive than you can afford now or shot up in value, it's not shill bidders, okay? Stop. If you want to call something out on shill bidding, make sure you have proof and evidence, okay? But yep, shill bidding is not okay to do. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate it. Would the Flash do this? All right, there's one of them. Shill bidding. Rodney, appreciate you being here. Appreciate it. For sure. Oh, Porthos. Truly appreciate the super chat, Porthos. Thank you so much. Asking a friend to bid on your book. Oh, you mean if you're selling a book? Yeah, I thought at first I'm thinking, well, what if you're camping and you don't have internet and you're asking your friend to bid on that key book that you saw on eBay? Right. So if you're selling a book and you're like, hey, bid this up, right? I dig it. I'm with you so far, Ultra. I'm liking this. I bid on the first issue of Shill a few times. Lisa's in the house. Sub Lisa. Steve's here. Can't make everyone happy all the time. Absolutely. Let's see what Ultra's at. It's got some good stuff going on here. Promoting books for other stores because you get free copies without. Yeah, I hear you on that. You want to be transparent. I mean, I'm gonna kind of play devil's advocate here for you. I think you can promote it without having to tell people what you're, but I think there's a fine line there. Like, if you're promoting a whole bunch of other books and you add that in with it, but if you're like talking this book up as if it's something special, then yeah. But I'm always, it's like I did videos showing off some BCW stuff, and somebody always came in the comments saying, why aren't you being transparent? Tell us what you're getting. I'm not getting anything. Actually, BCW sent me some free boxes after I did a video about their stuff. And then I got a sponsorship from them. And now we have basically a sponsorship where you get 10% off if you use the code JOURNOS. If you guys are shopping on bcwsupplies.com, use the code JOURNOS, you get 10% off. But I didn't have that originally. BCW saw my video and then they reached out to me. But I'm like, if I'm getting something from it, I actually legally have to tell you that it's a sponsored product that I'm talking about. Thank you, Lisa. TSM, appreciate it. Louise says pump and dump. I think that term right there is used way too loosely. I think that people just use that as a go-to when they're mad because they missed out on a book, and a book is higher in value. I don't care if somebody buys 20 copies and it gets hot and they go and flip them and make a profit. If you wanted that book, you would have had it on your pull list. You would have ordered it from your previews, ordered 35% off. If you're mad because it got hot and you don't have it and you say, oh, it's just people buying all the copies because of pump and dump, I ain't on it. But Luis, I don't know to what context you're talking about. So I hope, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not saying that this is what you're insinuating. I just know that a lot of times when people use that term, I don't like it. Well, I mean, hey, look, if you buy a book based on a key collector alert, it means you're willing to pay that much. And that's the nature of the free market. Again, that's what I'm saying. I got no issue with this. I got no issue. None at all. DS, I'm getting backtracked on comments, guys. The main problem with all of these issues is collectors not doing their own research. Yes, DS, I agree. And using their own gut to too much blame is passed off to third parties. Absolutely. Take accountability. You can't blame speculators. You can't blame key collector. If you missed out on the book before it got hot, that's on you. Billy, what's going on, Billy? Making money off speculation is okay as long as the information behind the speculation is solid. Again, yeah, so this goes, yeah, I mean, look, speculation needs to be, language and verbiage matters. We need to understand speculation and rumor from confirmations, right? In fact, that is absolutely key. All right, Ultra also said, watch out for people who use social media repetition to prep you for the spec they want to drop because they repeat the book character before they list. Okay, I mean, okay, yeah, I hear you, Ultra. Again, I just, still though, nobody's forcing your hand. Nobody's forcing your hand. If you're going to get, I mean, that's probably like used car salesman tactic. If you're going to get played, if you're going to make a purchase based on used car salesman tactic, you still, I mean, where's the fault? I wouldn't do it as a seller. It's not ethical, so I agree with you. But at the end of the day, you gotta hold yourself responsible. You gotta be smart with your purchases. Jesus says, the Marvel Universe is a big universe. I feel that people only want to go after anything MCU. Right now, it's hot. And that's why I said in my top 10 video, MCU FOMO out of control. I'm just saying, you know, it's a catchphrase title of a video. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it is. I mean, people are going crazy over MCU spec. But hey, as long as they can live with their decisions, I'm all for it. All right, guys, I'll probably be wrapping up here in a few minutes. I'll get to a few more comments. Viral MC. Porthos says, I think it would be good to show books a month in advance to show what you can get pre-sale. That's a good Porthos. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think what Porthos is saying is, Porthos, you got to trademark this. What if, because, you know, we get like previews 3 months in advance, right? So, like, you know, Marvel and DC put out their previews mags that you could get for free at your local LCS. And then you can go on My Comic Shop or Midtown. I don't do Midtown anymore. I do My Comic Shop. And you could buy the books for 35% off 3 months in advance. So I think what Porthos is kind of saying, what if you do a video, like a monthly video, and talk about the current previews that are coming out 3 months down the road, and you do a video and showcase some of the books that are coming out. I think that's a great idea, because then you could talk about speculation around them. People could take that and then go put their previews orders in. Porthos, I like that idea. I might have to run with that idea with some videos. Viral MC says, I love if you would drop a beat and rhymed about comics. You know what? That's so funny. I'm going to bring something up on YouTube on my phone here real quick, guys. Actually, I'm going to bring something up on screen real quick here. Real quick here. This is going to be fun. All right, for those that don't know, check this out. This is a good way to end the show, too. I am a musician, and this is my music. Let's just let this play for a minute. Y'all need to go check it out, onioz.com. I don't have a pull list at a specific LCS. James.
Let the music move aside, feeling like God possessed me. The vibrations took me higher, feeling my body left me. Spent my whole life searching, not knowing a thing for certain.
Give me y'all a little cake.
Was a struggle, like I was battling the serpents, trying to find my purpose. Was searching for a wide, never realizing that what I was missing was right inside.
All right, all right. Give you guys a little taste. Go check out onioz.com. Maybe one day I'm gonna kick some freestyles for you guys. Pump and Dump usually deals with books that smell like a pig poopy turd. Okay, I dig it. Hence the name Pump and Dump, Pump and Deuce, Pump and Flush. Okay. Okay. Very interesting description there. I'll get to a couple more comments, guys. Who can't state their opinion? I hope we're being respectful in the comments, guys, because I hope everyone is able to state their opinion and keep it respectful, all right? Thunder, speculation equals playing the lottery. We're all hoping a book hits so we can cash in. Nothing wrong with that. Same with playing the stock market. Same with playing the stock market. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing. William says Chris just got into collecting over the past year. Frustrating that people charge graded prices for the raw equivalents. The standards are set by CBC, CGC. What happens when you send? What happens when you send the raw off? I don't know what you're saying right there, William, but I do agree that there are folks, stop pricing books, stop pricing raw books based on graded values. That needs to stop. But you know how to stop it? You guys know how to stop it? Don't buy them. Don't buy them. And if they don't sell, they're going to have to be forced to bring the prices down. It's that simple. You have 4 or 5 channel showing the same title every week on New Comics Day material. Yeah, Comic Toby, you're right. Like, that's why when I do like my top 10 books to invest in of this or that, I don't go with the same books. Why talk about the same books? And I still get people that come at me and say, why didn't you put this on the list? This YouTuber talked about that. And I'm like, okay, that YouTuber already talked about it. Why do I need to talk about it? I'm good. I'll talk about this one. My gold is down right now, actually. Not by much, just by a little. Just another collector. Key Collector's job is not to guide collectors through long boxes. It's to direct subscribers to eBay after they label a book hot, so when you make the purchase, they get a %. I disagree. I disagree with how you're spinning this. Just another collector. And don't. I'm just being honest, okay? We're here to voice our opinions. We're not going to always agree. I know what you're trying to say. I know you're spinning this. I use Key Collector, and I don't even subscribe to it. So before I go to a comic book store, if I'm collecting a run, I may refer to Key Collector app. Say like, well, if I see certain issues at the store, which ones do I want to buy, prioritize? And I'll go and I'll look at what books are like first appearances or whatnot. Now, if they, to the second part of your question about them getting a percentage off of sales on eBay, why is that wrong? If a book does get hot and they send out a ping or an announcement and you buy it on eBay from their link and they get a percentage, why not? They were gonna, if Key Collector app did not have any type of relationship with eBay, okay, and somebody got a ping for a hot book from Key Collector, what do you think they'd be doing anyways? What do you think they'd be doing anyways? going to eBay, right? So the fact that there's a partnership, I'm not mad about that. It's business. It's business. But you could go to Mercari. You can go to mycomicshop.com. You can go to Facebook Marketplaces. You could go to your LCSs. You could get a ping and you could call your local LCS and say, hey, do you have this book? Hold it for me. I'll be right over. Okay. So, like I said, I think the way that you worded that, I'm not gonna sit and agree with it in totality about how it's worded in Spun, but I think their job is to do all of those things. And if they make a little bit of revenue off of somebody going to eBay and buying it off eBay, I am not mad at that. Now, if Key Collector had their own eBay store and the links in the hot books brought you right over to their eBay store, that's the conflict of interest. And I'm sure there's conspiracy theorists out there that believe that Key Collector only picks books that are books that they can profit off of, pump and dump, and they have the secret eBay store, and all they're doing is directing you to their eBay store. Like I said, the profit margin of them trying to do that isn't going to be worth it in terms of the money that they make running a solidified business that is the Key Collector app. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. I'm gonna get some final words in. Ultra Magnus, you got bars. Thank you, man. You should go check out my song with the Outlaws. That's on the front page there. I appreciate that. I appreciate anybody supporting my music or giving me any love with my music, man. I really do. That's my past life. I talked about it a little bit on my channel, but yep. Ronnie Boy. Francisco. Nobody's going to make you buy anything. That's right. Do your own research. Yeah, I know Cover Price is a link to eBay as well. I use Cover Price often. So, Brandon, what's up, Brandon? Y'all still up, right? I appreciate you guys. Thunder's still here. Tricky. Jonathan, Johnny smoking a fat one. You know, Airboy, if there's, look, if there's insider trading, yeah, it's tough. And sometimes we just got to trust people to be ethical, right? Can you imagine being, like the actors, right? Like can you imagine what's a character? Well, I'm trying to think of a character. I don't know. What if they cast Nova already and we don't know about it, right? Can you imagine the Nova actor going out and buying a bunch of Nova #1s? Right? Or like the new villain, like Kang. Can you imagine that actor being cast as Kang and buying up all the Kang specs? That would suck, and then banking in. That's the most extreme type of insider trading, right? Oh, somebody sent it. Tony. Right on, Tony. Tony Trombetta. EGS in the house. Hope all you dads had a great day. Have to catch us on the replay. Tony, I really appreciate you so much. I just showed up my 9.8 Miles Morales 25 variant EGS slab. Guys, if you aren't familiar with EGS, go check them out. EGScomics.com. I do believe their link is in all my descriptions to all my videos. Thank you so much for being here for the super chat, Tony. I appreciate it. So, Ray, I appreciate you guys, man. I really hope. Here's my final words, everyone. Short stuff. My final words is this, guys. My final words is this. Porthos. Thank you. Thank you so much. Truly, truly. My final words is this. If you hear me say something in a video and if you aren't clear on my intent, okay? Talk to me. Talk to me. That's all I ask. That's number one. If you aren't sure of my intent, talk to me. I read all your comments. Eventually, I'll get to them. If you send me private messages on IG, I get a lot, but eventually, I'll get to them. We will have a conversation. Okay? That's number one. Number two, I really am tired of having to come here and set the record straight about how I'm not anti-key collector. I'm not anti-CGC. I'm not anti-anything. I'm pro-comic books, people. I'm pro-everything. The only thing that I'm anti is when people get it twisted. I'm anti-divisiveness. I'm pro-togetherness. It does me no good to be against Key Collector. It does me no good to be against CGC or CDCS. It does me no good to be against other YouTubers. It does me no good to be against anybody in the chat today. I am pro this hobby. I'm not anti-speculator. I'm not anti-collector. I'm not anti-hoarder. I'm pro everything. I'm pro positive. I'm pro do what you do and enjoy what you do. And that's what makes this hobby great. So, I want all of you to take that same mind state. All right? We don't have to agree with everything that a company does because Key Collector is a company, it's a business. We don't have to agree with everything they do. But don't just dive into this negative rhetoric, into the nonsense. And that goes with any company. It goes with any YouTuber. You may not like Comic Tom, Bueller, Reggie, or you may love them, and that's okay. But don't be negative. Johnny, thank you so much. Happy Father's Day, Chris, and all the dads out there. Thank you, Johnny. Truly appreciate you. Guys, again, thank you all for being here on a late night live. Shout out to each and every one of you. I really appreciate you all. I love what I do. I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes along the way. But my door is always open. No matter if you're Nick from Key Collector or other YouTube content creators or my viewers and subscribers and community members and so forth. I have nothing but love and respect for you all, and I know I'm passionate about the things I talk about. Don't mistake passion for anything else. I want to continue to better myself so I can continue to help better this community because we can't get anywhere holding each other back. We have to pull each other forward, and it's that simple. So, with that being said, I'm going to go get a video ready for tomorrow because that's what I do for you guys. That's what I do. Thank you all so much. Sky, Geeks Portal, Ultra, a Tackler X11. Thank you so much. Adam, thank you guys. Be well, be safe, guys. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Keep enjoying the hobby. We are so blessed to be a part of an amazing, amazing hobby. Don't take it for granted. Love you guys. Peace.